Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I ordered some axles last week and they came in today. Got some Strange Hy-tuff 35 spline to replace the 31 spline Yukon axles that we twisted in the coupe. Took them, they shipped Monday. Today is a Thursday, so they had them in stock. Didn't take long at all to get here. We upgraded from 31s to 35s. Had to get a new spool, obviously, and went ahead and got their Hy-tuff axles. It's the race series that Strange offers. Got the C-clip eliminators. Already have C-clip eliminators in the car now. So we had to go ahead and replace everything. Nothing really carries over from one to the other, so you have to get a whole new setup. So with that, we'll go ahead and open the stuff up and take a look at it. I already cut the boxes open so you wouldn't have to see me fumble around with the razor blade. There's our 35 spline spool and our 35 spline Hy-tuff axles. Alright, so these axles are 35 spline Hy-tuff. They have the A1090 C-clip eliminator, which unfortunately I wanted to stick with a tapered cone bearing C-clip eliminator. That's what I've had. I had in this car with this set of axles and the set before it. Never had a problem out of them. It worked really good on the street, never leaked. But I tried to get that with these, and the axle shaft is bigger on the Hy-tuffs. So they don't make a street C-clip eliminator for these because they, Strange will even tell you when you go to order these, they don't recommend them for the street for whatever reason. Probably the same way that UPR doesn't really recommend, or a lot of companies don't recommend chrome moly K-member for the street, but people run them anyway. Have several friends that run these and they've had really good luck, so that's what we're going to do. The other thing that we went with, this has a 1/2" 20 screw-in studs for the wheel studs. I wanted to stick with a press-in stud that's got press-in 1/2 20 ARP studs, and I wanted to use those, but ARP doesn't offer a press-in stud with this flange. On the race axle, they'll only sell you, they only make them with screw-in studs. So they give you an option of 5/8 or 1/2". The 5/8 is really probably the best bet you should do, but I like running stock style wheels and with a conical seat, acorn style lug nut. And to be able to do that, I would have had to drill out the wheel stud holes in my wheels. So didn't really want to do that. I'd like to try to keep it, you know, as stock in that area as I can. So, and the problem I know of, I've seen a lot of guys twist these. Strange only rates these studs to 600 wheel horsepower, and then they say that's when you'll run into problems. And I've seen quite a few guys that have actually physically twisted this stud. So we're going to go ahead and put them in now. That way I can get the car down and I can drive it. But before I really lean on the car, get rough with it, I'm going to get a hold of ARP and I'm going to swap those out with some ARP studs, and that supposedly fixes the problem. So let's take a look at what we got. Really nice set of axles. So also when I ordered these, I had the center made for the 94-95 disc brake rear rotor. This car, the whole reason I found the twisted splines on the axle shaft in there now is I was putting 94-95 GT style rear disc brakes on this car, and when I did the driver's side, pulled it apart, everything was fine. I pulled the passenger side out and the splines had twisted, and that's when I knew that I was stuck having to buy new axles. So I'm going to do another video. Actually, I'll do two. One pulling it apart, and then I'm going to do a video putting it back together. and we'll just break it down like that so the videos don't get real long, and we'll compare it when I get those axles out. Those are Yukon 31 spline axles, and it's got a Richmond 31 spline spool in it already. So we're just going to swap the ring gear out, and I'll double check the backlash for the ring gear. Pinion depth shouldn't have changed, so I shouldn't have to mess with any of that, but just have to double check the backlash on the ring gear, and hopefully that stays within spec. I think it's like 8 thousandths is where they want that, 8 to 12, and I'll double check it and make sure that's still where it's supposed to be. As long as it's good, we're just going to run it. We'll put it back together again. But we'll compare these axles I'm pulling out to these new Strange axles. You can tell just by looking at them, they're bigger. They're a world better axle. These weren't cheap, definitely. The Yukons were a lot cheaper axle, but they also twisted, so I'm not going to go through that again. I plan on making more power with this car down the road, and I don't want to have to touch the rear end again. So we'll see what happens. It's like an extra $25 and they'll pressure C-clip eliminator on the axle. So when I moved houses in my new garage, I don't have near as many tools as I did in my other garage. So rather than try to find somebody down here to press them on, I just went ahead and had Strange do it for $25. It's not worth the hassle, and looks like they did a really good job. So the only thing I might have to do, I'll get a hold of them, because I think, if I remember right, well, they do kind of come apart. You're supposed to put sealer in between these two axle shafts, or the two C-clip eliminator halves. You see it? That part presses down, then this part kind of slips on, and then the wedding ring there, that's the other part they press on. But it'll leak if you don't seal here, and then there's a gasket that goes in behind that. So I'll look in this package and see if they sent me. They should have sent me gaskets. If not, I think I have a set over there. Hopefully I do. Usually I keep an extra set just in case I ever need to pull the axles out. But yeah, all looks really good. There's the spool they sent me. It's a nice piece. I need to get some carrier bearings for this, and I'll put those on. I'll show you how to do that without a press. It's pretty simple. You just put this part in your freezer and then heat up the bearing. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. I've seen guys put them in the oven. I tried that one time years ago, and it turned the bearing collars, so I don't really like doing that. We'll try a different way. I've used electric skillet before, and that worked really good, so we'll do that. I'll show you how to do that without having to use a press. So everything looks pretty good. Don't see gaskets, so hopefully I'll give them a call maybe and ask them, because I want to ask them about the sealer too. I never got instructions with those eliminators, so we'll just double check with them and find out where we go from here. Hopefully I don't need anything else, and shouldn't have a problem getting those. So we'll hopefully this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to come out here and I'll rip the car apart, and if I have time, I'll put it back together and we'll get this job done this weekend. So yeah, just wanted to go over it and make sure everything came and nothing was messed up. Obviously, I didn't want to have to wait another week for parts. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.